Ugh. Go through the wall?
I don't think I can actually go through it, but certainly make some fun.
Did it go through the wall?
I think maybe, yeah, maybe that
Did the
was,
camera go through the wall? I mean,
yeah, probably. Yeah, most likely. It looked great though.
okay, that's probably what happened. Man, the camera just we had one programmer whose entire job was the camera,
Oh boy.
right? And so just in normal circumstances, the camera is an incredibly complicated thing.
This is for the entire
When you're
game.
running on yeah, for the entire game,
Oh god.
just to get Ratchet's camera working.
Poor guy.
Right, not counting magnet boots. We had one guy, and that was his whole job. And on Ratchet, by the time we got to this, it was only about half of his job. He was also doing a level.
Oh man.
But doing camera that's just to give you an idea of how difficult doing the normal camera is. Doing a camera on a gravity surface is way harder. So I'm surprised there were fewer bugs with it than there are.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't have the first idea how hard it is, but I can imagine it's pretty bad.
So if you imagine imagine that all of the weapons and everything in the game has been made assuming that you're on an infinite flat plane that stretches out to infinity, right? So gravity is always pointing straight down, right? But if you walk on the wall, gravity is pointing towards the wall, not down anymore, right? So everything that was made assuming that down is down now works incorrectly.
Right.
Right? Like, let's say you fired off a bullet, and the bullet assumed that down was down, it would come out of your gun at a weird angle, because it would be trying to face down. Yeah. It's stuff like that. And then getting the camera to work under those circumstances was another thing that's difficult.
So I'm guessing games like Mario Galaxy are immensely difficult to work with. Just because of the nature of what they're like.
Yeah, given that it was their whole... Given that was their whole thing, my guess is they made an engine that made it easier to work with.
Right.
Since we only did it a little bit, right? It wasn't
Right,
anything we based the entire game around.
Okay.
So it might have been a little easier for them to handle. But, speaking of Mario Galaxy, there was the year it came out at E3, it was really funny. I was standing in line to get into the Nintendo booth, and they had these big screens where you could talk to Nintendo representatives, and they would answer your questions. But I didn't have any questions, but they still wanted to talk to me, and I was waiting there, so we talked. And there was this moment where he said, "Hey, did you know that this year in Mario Galaxy, Mario can, run around in spherical worlds and with weird gravity?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I've heard about that in games. I've heard some other games did that a little bit." Yeah. And then he's like, "Yeah, and in Zelda, there's these boots you can put on, and you can walk on walls." And I was like, "Oh man, let's talk about something else, dude. I just can't take you ripping me off right now."
Yeah, like that. Wow.
It was the same year. It was like, and what's funny though is that apparently Miyamoto has never, before then, had never even heard of Ratchet and Clank. So it wasn't his. It wasn't him. Like who if he thought of the 3D thing, the full 360 thing, then he thought of it without being influenced by us, because he hadn't even heard of the franchise.
Liar.
I sincerely doubt it. He has nothing to lose by admitting that he played Ratchet and Clank.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
No.
It's one of the more popular Western games in Japan, which means that it did really badly.
Right. Okay.
Like, Crash was the most popular Western game ever in Japan.
Yeah.
And Spyro did some business. Like, it didn't lose money in Japan, and so it was considered a really big success in Japan. So all the Ratchet games we shipped to Japan too, and they were about, they made money, which meant that they were one of the bigger Japanese successes.
Right.
But Western games at this point in time just didn't make money over there. So I'm not surprised that he wouldn't have heard of it, because even though it was kind of big over here, maybe a few 100,000 people over there played it in a country of many millions of people.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Whereas everybody over there played Mario, so...
Yeah, well, yeah, that's freaking huge. It's interesting because you've talked about that before, like the set of skills to make me like do what you want, and I think Skylanders is a very good like point of that. Your puzzles in Skylanders,
man.
you always
It's fun. It's fun to watch people play my puzzles. It's like I'm pulling their strings.
yeah.
But yeah, it's the you know, like sometimes when I look at job openings and they're like, hey, we want someone to come make our gambling game more addictive, and I'm like, oh god, I could do that so well. I could weaponize that shit.
Fucking hell.
which means I cannot let myself do that.
Yeah. Oh man, that's wow. Wow. That's actually terrifying.
Maybe I just have too big of an opinion of myself, but I'm pretty sure I could weaponize gambling if I had to. And I
don't doubt that actually, because I know from experience of playing your stuff that you can make me do what you want and succeed in your puzzles. So.
But you always have free choice. You just happen to choose the thing I wanted you to choose.
Yes, which is
heavily
weighted in your favor.
It's like stage magic if I was also God at the same time and controlling the way the universe worked.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little bit easier than stage magic.
Yeah, because you are God already. So
you're actually doing real magic.
It's pretty awesome.
Like you couldn't see how my trick was done because it was magic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as Jesse Eisenberg says in Now You See Me. Rule number one about magic: always be the smartest guy in the room, and you're pretty smart. So you automatically get a win there.
Oh, thank you.
I'm not a match for you, so.
But you see, in terms of using it in a video game, you get to use it so that the player has fun.
Yes, and also thinks that they are the one who is in control.
There was a game designer for Atari back in the old days. He did Yar's Revenge. And one of the things he said was, back in the day, the only use for my education was making video games or making missiles. And I think that making video games is a better use of the technology. And I agree with him.
Mm. Yeah. That's pretty cool. So are there any games that you're looking forward to this year?
Man, I'm out of the loop when it comes to games. Like, I've just been moving so much. I don't have a reliable console set up, and
fair enough.
It's crazy. But at some point, when things settle down, I want to play No Man's Sky because I keep hearing things about it.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's very mixed. I think it's brilliant, but and I mentioned this when I first played it, it's very niche. Which is, I think, a thing that was always going to be the case. And I think the problem that a lot of people have with it is it isn't what they hoped it would be, but that's because it's niche. And they never explicitly said it was going to be what they wanted. It's just everyone assumed it would be.
What were they hoping it would be?
I guess like they were expecting it to be like more like I can run and gun and like take over a civilization, destroy aliens, and like you can do that to a point, but like that's not its primary focus. Primary focus is exploration. Like if you want to explore and literally end the sandbox, then this is an ultimate game for you.
There was a game that came out, I think it was like in the either late 90s or early 2000s, which had a similar concept, and I think it still hasn't been fully mapped out.
Okay, interesting. Do you know
but I'd have to look it up. But you basically, it procedurally generates planets, and you fly in a spaceship to visit them, and there are billions and billions of them. Okay. But you don't do anything. Like it's vaguely interactive.
Right.
If that makes sense. Right. So this is sort of an improvement on that concept. But the exploration thing, I mean, it's like people have been sort of aiming for that for a long time. So
I think it's just amazing that it's even doable. it's stunning. Yeah. It's such a cool idea. What's even more impressive is it's literally only 6 gigabytes. Like how?
Yeah.
How is its file size 6 gig when it has 18 quintillion planets? How?
Well, those planets aren't in memory.
I know, but
like they're not being stored on the disk. it's sort of like a zip file, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not storing the data, you're storing the math required to reproduce your data,
Yeah, I guess that's true.
basically.
Oh, there
And the
it
math
is.
takes up a
Titanium
lot
World.
less space than 3D models and stuff like
I
that.
was wondering when this should show up. I knew it was in one of these areas. I'm happy now.
Yay!
Well, we are missing 7 crystals. They could be absolutely anywhere.
6 crystals now?
No, 7 including the one I just got.
Oh, okay.
So they could be absolutely anywhere. But yeah, well, I'll keep looking for a little bit more. And I might I might go to Annihilation Nation briefly because there were a couple of missions I couldn't do, but I'm more powerful now, so I probably could. But yeah, No Man's Sky is I really enjoy it. I think it's a lot of fun. I'm not bored of it yet. I feel like I will get bored of it eventually. But at the moment I'm still playing it and I'm still enjoying it, so that's what I care about.
I tend to not be able to do the procedural games for very long too, but generally I think that's sort of how they're built, you know.
Yeah, there are some people who will get crazy addicted and will be able to play it forever, and they'll go, and then there's the rest of the world. But it's still a great little game.
And the people who will explore it and find as much as they can.
Yeah. So it's a really nice idea. I like it a lot. I'm looking forward to
The
Skylanders.
you're looking forward, sorry?
to Skylanders, very much so.
I've been hearing good things, man. I think it'll be good this year.
It's interesting actually. Like I don't want to be that guy, but I think the best games in the series are the ones with even numbers. So Giants, Trap Team, and now we have Imaginators. Because one was
those were the ones done by Toys for Bob, the even numbers.
Oh really?
Or Toys for Bob, yeah. The
I
odd numbers,
like...
except for one, were Vicarious Visions.
Because I like one. I do like one, a lot. But
that was Toys for Bob also.
Yeah, but it is, you know, the first version. Like it isn't as well refined, I guess, in some ways.
Yeah, yeah. Giants, I thought, did it really well.
Yeah, Giants did really well. Swap Force was too
probably
long.
best. It was probably the best, I think, sort of like pure implementation of the concept. Giants was.
I like aspects of Swap Force. Like I like Mesmeralda onwards, which is unfortunately 3 bosses and 2 chapters, which is not a lot when it's like 13 chapters long. But each chapter is like an hour, and it just goes on way too long. And that's
that was something even VV knew about the game while they were making it, that it was too long.
Yeah, like it's not
they did a whole bunch of things to cut it down, and even so, it still felt a little long.
Yeah, it just did.
That game turned out.
On.
That game turned out amazing. Like the last time I had seen it, it was not as finished, and like just the amount of polish they were able to put on in the last month and a half is astounding.
Oh,
like
really?
that Mesmeralda song,
Yeah.
I never saw it.
Oh, that I love. Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
Endgame was really good, but it just middle 5 chapters was so boring. I found I had no reason to play.
My experience of it was about when VV sort of found their way of making Skylanders games by about that point in the game.
Right.
Because that was the first one they'd made that wasn't a mobile game, right?
Yeah.
So they were kind of still getting used to the franchise. But their Skylanders games do have a different flavor, and I've heard from different people who like the different flavors. There's some people who like the VV flavor more, and some people like the Toys for Bob flavor more.
Fair enough. So is Imaginators Toys for Bob?
Yes.
Oh, good. Cause I love Trap Team. Trap Team is a work of genius.
And man, Imaginators is probably going to be the biggest one, just in terms of like what's it's man they're I can't even imagine how so many things can be supported. Like, it just seems like an immense undertaking. So it's really cool.
It is really cool from what I've seen of it. I mean, I liked Superchargers. I liked a lot of Superchargers, but I felt like the vehicle bosses were horrendously boring. I did not enjoy them in Superchargers. I did not.
I haven't played Superchargers, so I'm not sure. I didn't play Superchargers. I only very, very small uh, I had a very, very small role way early in that project, so I don't know very much about it.
Yeah, it wasn't
Uh,
it wasn't a
but yeah,
bad game.
that was DV's second one.
It had really good levels. Actually, it had some really really good levels, but the bosses were just so bad.
The
I
good
found
levels thing was the takeaway, definitely. Like everybody was when I went in to see them to work on Imaginators, the what everybody was saying about Superchargers was that they really liked how, like, just the sense of place and that there's always something interesting to do and
yeah
stuff like that. Like the level design was just real solid. So
yeah
that's good because you know, it's something that you know, like each company, whenever they make innovations to the franchise, the other company gets to use it. So it's you know, like the graphics upgrade that VV brought, you know, got put into later's games. You know, the some of the cinematic stuff they do, but the two companies tell stories completely differently, so they have a very different feel.
yeah that makes sense. But I mean, Imaginators, their literal imagination crystal, like that. That is something else. The amount of like things you can do is awesome, and
Yeah,
it's all and because it's all
pretty crazy.
randomized, in terms of what you get. There's so much replayability.
Right? Yeah, there's loot drops everywhere because of it. Yeah.
It's really cool. It's very impressive.
It's really nice. It's really nice to have a system where you can give out so many rewards because it just gives you, you know, it gives you more to do with like, because when you play a Skylander and you get them from level 0 to level whatever, right? Like having more stuff to use for that character is always just better, right? So not just, it's like with the weapons in Ratchet, you know, you get finished with it and you put it away.
Yeah.
This would be like giving you more reasons to pull those weapons out later on.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and also, you know, Crash Bandicoot and
Oh,
Cortex.
so ugly, the loading screen, because they turn the fog off.
The what? Sorry.
Oh god, the loading screen here in Aquatos.
Yeah.
Uh, like it in the PS2 version, the water was cloudy,
Oh,
right?
okay.
There's a whole bunch of fog. Uh, this version, they turned the fog off so that you could have cool view distances in the cities. But it means you can see unfinished geometry and ugly stuff in this level.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Yep.
Well, I'm gonna return here later when I have the mathematic because I just can't. Like, I don't know where they are.